Hey, this is Mark Builds It, and this is the creator-driven community. A couple days ago, I talked about fungibility, and I mostly discussed fungibility in the real world. So today I wanted to talk about fungible tokens in the world of crypto. So as I discussed before, fungibility is just interchangeability. One thing is worth the same as another. And cryptocurrencies are the ultimate fungible asset because they have no analog equivalent. They exist only in computer code. So the main use of a fungible token of a cryptocurrency is either to store value or use as payment. So Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and it has become sort of the standard for a store of value. It doesn't have a whole lot of use outside of that. There are some protocols that are trying to change that and give Bitcoin some functionality beyond that storage of value, but that stuff is just kind of getting ramped up. And I don't know how well that will turn out because the narrative for Bitcoin as value storage is really strong. Ether was the second fungible coin, and it has developed into both a store of value and a form of payment. So it was originally devised as the currency that you would use to pay for the execution of smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. It's considered an ERC20 coin. ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comments. So Ethereum is a blockchain that is run by the people who validate it. So they have proposals, the proposals are voted on, and then the code is implemented. So there are thousands of fungible tokens now associated with the Ethereum blockchain, and there are probably several thousand more associated with the competing blockchains that use both Ethereum standards and their own standards. So one of the advantages of fungible tokens being completely digital is the fact that they're almost infinitely divisible. So Bitcoin can be divided 100 million times into satoshis. So 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin is called a satoshi, and that refers back to the founder or founders of Bitcoin. And Ethereum can be divided into 1 billion parts, and those parts are called Gwei, spelled Gwei. This is the thing that makes micropayments possible. In the analog world, we have dollars, and dollars can be divided into cents. And there are some platforms where you start dealing with digital money where you can divide dollars into smaller fractions. But this becomes problematic because you can't physically withdraw a fraction of a penny. It has to be rounded up to the penny. With these digital currencies and these fungible tokens, you can go all the way down to 1/billionth of a whole and transact in amounts that small. So just to kind of give you an example of how this nearly infinite divisibility can play out. So let's say you had a social network like Instagram, and instead of it being free, every user paid $1 a month to access it. And so the provider of this service would take a fraction of that dollar right off the top, maybe 10%. That would be used to pay for running the servers, paying for transactions, putting things on the blockchain. The other 90 cents would be exchanged for some very small unit of measure of a token. So maybe a few thousand of the tokens for this blockchain. And you could spend these tokens on likes. You could spend them on comments. You could spend them to buy NFTs directly from creators. Or you could just pay them out as tips. So if you get 3 weeks into the month and you run out of tokens, you'll still be able to see the content, but you won't be able to interact with it. And one way to get this interaction back would be to spend some cash and buy more tokens. Or you could just wait till the end of the month, pay your dollar membership fee, and then you get your allotment for the next month. So this economy that could build up can carry down a lot of different layers. You could pay a small fee to make a comment on a post. The creator collects that fee. They could then trade it in for a portion of the dollars that you paid to get the tokens. Then if your comment is helpful, if the community likes it, the comment itself will collect likes, and then you can collect on your comment. And so there's this natural flow of a value that goes from the audience or the community to the people who are contributing things that the community finds valuable. And there are already systems similar to this working in Web3 right now. They have their advantages and their disadvantages, but people are working on it. And the great thing about a system, if it's properly designed, is that the creator will own all the content they create. They will only be paying a fraction of their expense in using the platform to actually pay for the functioning of the platform. And it could be set up so that with your first month's payment, you're issued an NFT, which is a voting token. And the users of the platform then become the owners and the managers of the platform. And if the community decided that the platform should take a higher rate in order to pay for upgrades or better software or more development team, then the users could do that, or they could just stick with the experience they have. They could also do things like keeping advertisers away from the content and polluting the objectivity of the creators so that they could make what they want and the community could reward them directly instead of having to do this, I'll draw an audience and then I'll sell my audience's attention to the highest bidder.